Do you remember arriving and what was it like?
Arriving where? Yeah, arriving at it was kind of a neat experience because I had never been out of the state of Missouri ever. Whenever we went on vacations, it was always in the state. But we loaded up as a group and we got on a train down at Union Station in St. Louis, and we were headed for San Antonio, Texas. Well, one of the guys, his mom and dad actually bought us some beer, and we shouldn't have been drinking, but we were. So whenever we got to San Antonio, all of us were drunk, hungover, and the first thing we heard was that TI come in the train and start yelling and screaming. So it'll stay with me forever.
What was your job and assignment?
I was actually a computer operator.
Okay. Did you see combat?
Somewhat.
Okay. Tell me about a couple of your most memorable experiences. The best first.
Best first. I think probably getting on that Freedom Bird and coming home. That was probably the best.
What was your worst experience when you were in Vietnam?
I actually was not in Vietnam. I was actually in Thailand.
Okay.
I was stationed at NKP Thailand. It was on the northern border up by Laos. But I flew into Vietnam on several occasions. I was an augmentee, which is a volunteer on a pararescue outfit. And I think probably one of the worst things that I seen while I was there, we were at the base one night and we were getting hit from sappers, and they came through the wire, and they had children wearing backpacks. And I seen roughly a 3-year-old girl walk into a combo bunker, and the combo bunker blew. I don't know exactly just how many guys were in there, but it wasn't a pretty sight.
Okay. How did you stay in touch with your family?
Letter writing. At that time, we didn't have the internet.
No Facebook?
No Facebook. No Facebook. It was constant letter writing. You might get a telephone call once every 2 or 3 weeks, but it was there was a pretty good waiting list.
Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted.
Why?
Well, I had several friends that graduated a couple of years before me, and when they went in and came back, they had changed. They weren't the same people, and I didn't want that. I wanted to be the same type person, just better than what I was, and so I enlisted in the Air Force.
Okay. Do you recall your first days in the service?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What were those like?
I remember standing in the line and going down to get haircuts and uniforms, and scared to death because these guys were yelling and screaming and hollering and calling you all kinds of names. I remember that quite vividly.
Can you tell me some of your experiences about boot camp training?
Boot camp training. The Air Force wasn't as bad as the Army and the Marines. Yeah, a lot of guys say I sissied out, but it was still an adventure. We had a couple of gentlemen that, unbeknownst to us, wore silky boxers, and whenever they got screamed at in the morning, that first morning, and we were standing at attention at the end of our beds, and the TI came walking down the center hall and seen those silky boxers, it was all over. It was hilarious.
Do you remember any of your instructors?
Yes.
Which one?
Tech Sergeant Showalter. He was phenomenal. One of the first things you're told whenever you get to boot camp is the center aisle, nobody walks in it, and it's scrubbed, polished, and I mean it's beautiful. You don't step in it, nothing. Tech Sergeant Showalter had combat boots on. He had taps on his heels. He had horseshoe taps on his heels. He had taps on both sides of his instep and on the outstep, and he had taps on the toes. So when he walked, people heard him. And he liked walking down the center aisle and spinning on those taps, because whenever he spun on it, naturally, it pulled up all the wax, the shine, and everything else. And by afternoon, that floor has to be in better shape than it was. And if it wasn't, yeah, you had problems.
Okay. How do you think you managed to get through it?
Well, you got to keep ahead. I mean, you got to stop and think what you're there for. Basic training, I knew that they couldn't kill me. That was against the law. They could eat me up, but they couldn't kill me. I knew that. And I knew it was only for a short period of time, and I knew that they were trying to break me down from what I was and put me where I needed to be. So I've always been a prideful type American, and I knew the Air Force is the way I wanted to go, and I wanted to do my job.
Okay. Do you recall the day of your service when it ended? What was the first thing you did when you got back home?
When I got back home, I asked my mom to make a chocolate cake. She made a full chocolate cake, and I sat down and I ate a 2-layer chocolate cake and drank a gallon of milk, one sitting.
Okay. What did you do in the days and the weekends afterward?
Tried finding a job. That was one of the hardest things. I had one of the best career fields in the world, but at that point, the machines that I had experienced on, nobody had those machines here. And it was hard finding a job. It really was.
Did you go back to school and?
I think right now I've got a total of like 12 college hours, but I did go back. I waited almost too long to use my GI Bill. At that time, they didn't give you any out processing and tell you about how long you had, and I didn't start using my GI Bill till after 9 years after I was out, and I only had 10 years to use it, so I only had a year on my GI Bill.
Okay. Did you make any close friendships while you were in the service?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The big problem is, whenever I was stationed in the United States, I made friends. But whenever you out process to go to Vietnam, they tell you don't make friends. And the reason why you don't make friends is you don't keep them long enough. So I took that to heart. I had buddies, but I didn't have friends.
Okay. Did you join a veterans organization?
Yep, joined the VFW after I got back. I also, we had a group called Missouri Veterans Vigil of Honor, which was a POW MIA advocate group. And that was the two that I really maintained with.
Okay. Did your military experience influence your thinking about the war or about the military in general? And how so?
It didn't influence me about the military. It influenced me about our government.
Okay.
The military, I'd join again today if they'd have me, but they wouldn't have me. So, but later on, I went back in the National Guard, and peacetime service was a lot different than wartime service. I couldn't stand the peacetime service, so that's why I got out of the National Guard.
Okay. How did your service and experiences affect your life?
Oh wow. Well, I can tell you that if I go into a restaurant now, I never sit with my back to the door.
Okay.
I'm also, anytime I walk on a parking lot, I'm super vigilant. I kind of keep my eyes going all the time because, number one, I don't trust anybody but me. And I think the military did that, or my service did that to me.
Okay. What was your food like?
Food was great.
Okay.
Air Force chow halls are the best chow halls in the world.
Did you have plenty of supplies?
Yes.
Okay. Did you feel pressure or stress while over there?
Oh, you always feel stress.
Okay.
You never know when your hooch was going to be bombed. You never knew when some of your buddies were going to be taken out downtown. They didn't have an arms agreement with Thailand where I was at, so if you went downtown, you couldn't take anything with you. You had to travel in civilian clothes, and at that time, there was $1,000 on a GI's head and $500 on an ID card. So, was it stressful? Yeah. We had a bowling alley on base where I was at, but you can imagine what humidity does to a bowling alley.
Do you recall any particularly humorous or unusual event?
I would say was a lot of humorous events. Not anything really strikes me right offhand as being super humorous. So.
Okay. What were some of the pranks that you or others would pull?
Man, that's been too many years ago. That's been too many years ago.
Okay. Can you tell me about some of the pins that you have on your hat?
Several things. Let's see.
Okay.
I think probably the best one out of all of them is this one right here. It says, if you haven't been there, shut your mouth. There's a lot of people that had adverse things to say about us, and they weren't there, so they didn't know what we went through. This pin over here on this far side is the Missouri Veterans Consortium pin, and this green material around it is actually one of our guys out of the consortium. It was his uniform that was sent home after he was killed, and all of us took a piece of that swatch and put it on the consortium pin. That's kind of basically it. I got a pin over here from 1984 whenever we went to the wall in DC. This says free them now or send us back, and it's kind of our saying. There were 6,800 men that didn't come home from Vietnam. The government knows that they left them there, and they did very little to try and get them back.
Okay. Did you keep any kind of personal diary while you were over there?
No.
Okay. And what were the places that, when you entered the Air Force, where have you traveled to?
Oh, wow. Several tech schools down in Texas. I was stationed at Westover Air Force Base, Chicopee Falls, Massachusetts. That was a SAC base, B-52 bombers. Let's see, where else did I go? Needless to say, Thailand, Vietnam, been around the world twice. One's going there, one's coming home. Japan, Guam, Island. There was a lot of places.
Okay. If when you're in the VFW, do you partake in any activities now with that?
Not as no. Let's just put it that way. And the reason I don't is I don't have time. God let me come home from Vietnam for a reason. I researched that reason quite a bit, and I got into the Boy Scouts of America. As an adult leader, now I have a special needs Boy Scout troop with 23 gentlemen in it, and I think that was my calling. And that's one of the big reasons why I don't participate in any VFW events. I'm in the NRA. I'm a RSO, which is a range safety officer. I'm qualified to teach shotgun, rifle, and pistol, and I use that training to teach special needs scouts and other scouts, so I'm quite busy with the Boy Scouts.
Okay. How long have you been in the Boy Scouts?
12 years back in as an adult.
Okay. Are you a Scoutmaster?
Yes, Scoutmaster.
How long have you been a Scoutmaster for?
6 years.
Okay. Do you enjoy what you do?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add with this interview?
Not right offhand.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.